Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 New Order as America. Let us continue on where we last left off. So the election is in full swing. I still don't know if we know who the nominees are for either the RDC or the NPP. I don't know when we'll choose them, but I think they're normally in like July, August is usually when the conventions are. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But for now, things are looking good. We have our volunteers down in South Africa. I'm hoping we'll be able to kill the Boer Republic somewhat soon. Volunteer forces. Here, we're sending more units to Africa. And we have an air doctrine. Nice. Interception detection. Sounds good to me. We're missing AA guns. We don't make any AA. We can sort that out. Okay, anti-air. Let's go 3 onto you. We'll cut... I guess we'll cut ICBMs. We don't really need them that much. Presumably. I'm assuming no matter what, we have any ICBMs, they just are going to instantly die. Let's station you here. Again, we are still trying to deal with the Philippines. I'm not feeling great about what the Philippines may or may not offer. Like, I kind of feel like the Japanese are going to win, but if we can kind of make them stuck on the Strait crossing, maybe we can get something done there. The Pearl Harbor Monument. The previous 2 decades have been rough on the United States of America. Being on the losing end of the Second World War, giving up key ports in California to the enemy, watching Europe and Russia fall to the jackboots, utterly powerless. Worst of all, our own red-blooded Americans were struck by the most powerful weapon the world had ever seen. 20 years ago today, Pearl Harbor was destroyed, wiped off the face of the earth by an atomic bomb. On December 7, 1941 was another devastating day. 2,000 lives were lost upon America's entry into the war. Base was the place of death for tens of thousands of brave men and women who gave their lives to freedom's cause. The construction of the Pearl Harbor Monument in Washington, D.C. lasted 3 years, and the opening day has finally arrived. Thousands flocked to the Capitol to view statues of soldiers raising the American flag, replicas of American battleships, and the centerpiece of the monument, a large peace fountain that contained the names of every soldier known to have died in the Pearl Harbor attacks. Gardens were also planned in honor of the fallen soldiers, and it quickly became the site of mourning throughout the area. Flowers were left at the base of the fountain, coins littered the fountain floor. For the Americans who had no flowers to give, nor no coins to donate, they gave the utmost respect to the fallen soldiers who had perished in the face of destruction. Even a handful of exceptional patriotic Americans claimed that America would have her vengeance. No matter one's belief, tonight was a night of remembrance. Okay, so let's pull... You need to go here. Pull this tank back. I don't want to get encircled. Pull you guys back here. It's looking bad. I will say that. Department of Justice begins investigation. Today, the Department of Justice announced that they are officially launching into a federal investigation of the wiretapping accusations, seeking to determine whether or not the claims are legitimate and whether President Nixon was involved. The support was near unanimous from the National Progressive PAC's politicians and constituents, as well as some of the president's more vocal critics within the Republican Democratic coalition. Even the president has publicly praised the investigation, swerving up and down that it will exonerate him of the malicious and ill-founded rumors that have been haunting him for months. Privately, however, is another story. The moment he got his private room in room 180, he slammed the door behind him and vented to his staffers about how the investigation was a sham, a farce, a conspiracy story, everything needed accomplished. No group was safe from his invective, the NPP, dirty traitors and Republican Democrats, the wiretappers for leaving so much evidence, J. Edgar Hoover for being sloppy and burning the evidence, alleged conspirators in the FBI and the White House, and everyone else who had wronged him in the president's career. Epithets like Jew bastards were invoked multiple times, and at the end, he made everyone in the room swear not to breathe a word of this to a living soul. So how are we doing? They have so much attack, huh? Is there anything I can do to the Philippines right now? No, they're just blockaded. There's really nothing I can do at the moment. For the front lines here, Operation Angel, expanding ground operations. Can't do anything with that quite yet. Yes, let's do Operation Eclipse. And South Africa. So we're so close to being where we want to be. Look, we just need Johannesburg. We take Pretoria. I think that might kill... I might know if it's going to kill Afrikaners, but it'll get close. Premature detonation. With a spare stick, Alan Pope carved a tally onto the floor of his cell. There's 3 more days until his execution, he thought. In all his passes, he had always been careful, but he had been a little cocky once and ended up being marked for death. Life was truly unfair, he confirmed to himself. His thoughts were interrupted by the sound of an explosion and the ground shook. Cautiously moving to his cell windows, he looked out to see the commotion. Outside, he could make out scattered gunfire between what appeared to be an FIR cell and some of the prison guards. Pope's heart began to flutter. He knew he wouldn't be forgotten. He was going home. Yet that optimism quickly faded. As the minutes passed, he watched as the lights of gunfire disappeared one by one, until an order to retreat was called and his rescuers disappeared. Just as quickly as his hopes rose, his heart sank. Nope, he was fucked. He thought to himself, how foolish of him to think that life would throw him a bone. Meanwhile, at the White House, the president sat in his office and Secretary of State rattled off the news of the failed attack. It was disconcerting and would require a chat with the director of the CIA, but there was little that could be done. That wasn't until he heard the secretary's next words. The Japanese had made an offer to release Pope in exchange for reparations for those killed in our little rescue attempt. The offer would keep tensions down, if a little humiliating. What is your decision? Leaning back, the president thought about it for a second. His Secretary of State was right about his benefits. Then again, Pope was only a single man. Casualties were always expected. Leaning forward again, the president gave his answer. Never gonna negotiate. You know what? Let's... fuck it. Let's set the offer. Why not? We'll be a little nice here. Where's your supply hub? Supply hub's gonna be in Pretoria. I mean, I would like to... You're worth 10 victory points. I would like to take this city if we can. Again, our units are good. We have the air superiority that we want. I'm gonna move the planes slightly close to the front lines. I don't know if this would actually make any difference because they're all within the coverage circle, but... I mean, I guess the planes would get there slightly faster. I don't know if that does anything, but why not at least? Oh, can we send more planes? No, 3 out of 3. Kind of just stuck at the moment. Send more reinforcements. There's a lot of Japanese troops here. Like, our defense is good, but their attack, naval penalty minus 50%, experience, country plus 62. Well-supplied army, volunteer army, vengeful of the dead must be avenged. 75% attack bonus against the United States. Oh, it's used to last forever? It's a 75% attack bonus against our units? What the hell? Okay, that's a little crazy. It's a little much, I would say. They have a tank division here. Let's actually move you one closer. And we have -8 political power. Not much we can really do about that at the moment. And for extra military factories, let's build up some more of these boys. Seems good to me. Okay, we've taken Klerkstrup. Ace pilot promoted. I want you to move your way to Pretoria like so. I want you guys to move your way to Pretoria like this as well. Again, that's their supply hub. It's their capital. We do want to keep that under our control. Okay, we have some Australian divisions here as well. After the failed rescue attempt, the end wasn't the one that Alan Pope expected. The Indonesian guards, now uniformly sullen and perpetually armed, had thrown open his cell doors, tossing a clean shirt and pants at his feet. He was expecting to get dressed and come out in 5 minutes, at which point Alan was held up by his shackled hands. How the hell was he supposed to get dressed like that? They pointed a gun at him for that, but another soldier dutifully released him from his shackles. They kept the gun pointed at him as he finished changing, then all the way through the entire complex until they pushed him to a waiting car in the prison entrance. "You're going home, Mr. Pope," the man said next to the driver. "Thank God," Alan said. After the firefight, "You're going to stay stateside," the man interjected. "God knows how many people we lost to get you out the first time." Alan digested the news. "Whose promise? The people I work for?" "The CIA works for the president," the man laughed with a tinge of bitterness. "And the president makes a promise. Only the president gets to break it. Indonesia gets more organization recovery rate. Pensions will decrease by 5%. So Indonesia's a little stronger now, which is a shame, but honestly is not going to be too bad. We're going to take Pretoria now. And then I want you guys to push your way to Johannesburg. How far is the Boer Republic? They are now at 48%. Okay, Johannesburg's still a little well defended. I think we need to keep pushing our way up as far as we possibly can. We do have a research slot. Oh, okay. The game was going to crash, but it decided not to. I appreciate that. So what do we want? Again, it's 64. You are 65 techs. So we're almost ready for another line of technology, but we're not quite there yet. We draw 1970 industry techs. We've got some 65 years as well. Civilian steel consumption +1. Actually, you know what? Sure, we'll go with this one. The Battle of Johannesburg. The newly Christian Johannesburg, formerly Johannesburg, was a city still part of the South African Federation and has been captured by advancing federal troops. As the war entered its acute phase, the German-American troops fighting each other directly, the Boers found themselves as a proverbial clay pot between iron ones. The newly established African Volksstaat was immediately invaded, and despite a trickle of supplies from the Shield, the Federation was able to break through the border defenses and directly push for Johannesburg in their continued effort to force the insurgent state to capitulate. As the second most populated city in all of South Africa, Johannesburg was heavily garrisoned and protected, but it proved to be too little for the stop the advancing attackers. The fortifications were torn down by heavy bombings, which were immediately followed up by a general offensive. Despite the valiant effort of Boer soldiers, they couldn't resist the impetus and were forced back to the city center. There they found another defense position sabotaged by ANC partisans, which eventually forced the commander to surrender. With the fall of Johannesburg, the Boers had not only lost their largest settlement, but also their only developed industrial sector, effectively crippling their war production. This will make it much more difficult for them to keep fighting effectively, and many agree that this might be the beginning of the end for the ill-fated uprising. So we're going to get stability, we're going to get war support, more political power, and people love us. They're like, Mr. Nixon, please, kill the Boer. Okay. Balance the budget. I don't think we care about any of you. I mean, everything's like pretty good. Hawkishness is actually still like surprisingly low. But aside from that, we're basically crushing it. Do I victory point rush? You're worth 10, you're worth 15. What if I can do like this? Get you guys to push your way towards Johannesburg. Move you here as well. Have you advance in this position at the same time. Never mind, you need to go this way. Technically encircled. You are low on... Okay, hold position for a second. 51-72. I mean, you guys should be okay. I don't think the Boers can actually, like, push into you at all. This is not a line. Shrink this down to just be here, please. Thank you. This is now an actual encirclement. We should actually try to crush this if we can. Okay, don't lose these units, by the way. Young American's education before his deployment had been brief. There had been no attempt to get him acquainted with the local language, nor the situation on the ground in Haiti. To the contrary, most of the time in the Department of State's headquarters, and it focused on the so-called security briefs, on ways to protect himself and avoid spies. His education had, instead, come from trips to the library and congressional reports. Which is why he now found himself, implausibly, arguing with a couple of soldiers in a village along the Haitian coast. Now, gentlemen, I'm going to say this one more time, he said with a voice that he had hoped concealed his frustration. The state asked me to come here and to help out build roads and give people jobs. I've talked to thousands of people about this, gotten a sign-off from local leaders. It's essential to get the services running here. The leader of the platoon looked at ugly Americans' disheveled khakis and gave a snide, aristocratic expression. I'm more worried about my boys being killed in the night than I am about these poor bastards getting road work. As I said before, you can have your project, but only with the U.S.-approved contractors in the presence of U.S. troops. It's the only way to prevent sabotage. He resisted, throwing his arms out in an expression of frustration. But you see how that defeats the whole purpose, don't you? It's bad enough that soldiers putting their guns in people's faces, but there's no jobs, no local ownership of the project if we're getting a bunch of foreign contractors. But the men before him were unsympathetic. Look, I don't know what to tell you. If you want to complain about protecting American lives, I would encourage you to run up to change of command. In the meanwhile, he points towards the village, I am treating every one of these people as a potential threat. The ugly Americans stood outraged as the soldiers went to patrol the dirt streets, leaving construction equipment fluttering in the breeze. Is there anything else we can do with Haiti right now? Because again, we have control of basically everywhere except for Nord-Est. Violence is currently at 6 out of 80, or 6 out of 100. Like, I don't know anything. Let's build more development here. Just for now. Okay, let's bring our tank up. How are you guys faring? Iberian officer assistant in South Africa. This afternoon, the Iberian ambassador in Washington, D.C. met with the president. The Iberian ambassador, in a move that was shocked many in the administration, has pledged to direct support for Iberia in the South African War. The ambassador claimed that, should the United States accept the offer of Iberian support in the conflict, Iberia is prepared to contribute significant and direct military combat support. Although wholly unexpected, this news has been welcomed by many in Washington. Previously, many Americans felt alienated within the conflict. It had been widely viewed as if we were standing alone. While the scale of the Iberian support is yet to be confirmed, we have affirmed that the Iberian ambassador that we will accept their support without question. Furthermore, our military is poised to provide any aid possible for the Iberians in assisting with the commencement of their operations. I mean, yeah, why would I say no? I lost a unit because I'm stupid. I need you to guide our planes. No, you're gonna last stand for a second. Okay, the ANC has collapsed. I can't believe I let one of my units die. I'm so stupid. 58, 67. Again, we need to counter this way immediately. We just need to make sure we can break out of this encirclement. And that means I need to send another unit down here. Let's just go with a... Go with like a motorized division. That seems okay. I mean, we don't need him in general either, so we just need to send a volunteer, send him over. Send volunteer? Maximum total is 1? I don't know why it's 1 now. It's supposed to be like 6, but that's okay. 98, 78. You know, you just gotta make sure you don't die. Inauguration Chief Executive Morita. The resistance had prevailed in England. After 20 years of pro-German rule and months of painful, bloody conflict, the uprising in Britain has come to an end, with the insurgent forces of the British resistance triumphing over the collaborationist government. We absolutely love to see it. Is there anything I can do right now to support them? No. You know what? Let's actually spend some money to stabilize Iberia. Okay, I think we did get a crush there. 45, 64. You have 11 hours left at last stand. Last stand once again. Our supplies here are like really, really bad, which is not good. Okay, can I please close this notification? And how are the Filipinos doing? I mean, we're slowing them down. That's something. But honestly, all the wars are kind of going bad. Yeah, okay, no, there we go. Yeah, send him over. 86, 69. Recognizing Republic of India. Is there anything else we can do? What else can we do with, No, because this is already finished. So really all we can do is just make, let's invest in India, sure. Flash. As President of the United States, it is my honor to recognize Her Excellency Vajra Lakshmi Pandit. Flash. As Ambassador Executive of the Parliamentary from the Republic of India to the United States of America. Nehru's sister, Mary Lehander, thought, hell of a pick. Marty had only gotten a call an hour ago. The White House had wanted a photographer on the hand for this historic moment, and they had figured that he was unlikely to leak anything until the credential ceremony. President Nixon and Ambassador Petit picked up the binder of credentials and held it between them, smiling gamely at the classic diplomatic style. Marty could only picture what it was like in the Tokyo Foreign Office right now. A formal recognition of the Republic over the Japanese puppet invading Hind would surely draw plenty of ire. Then again, he thought, it's not like the tensions weren't high already. How bad could this be? Stellar NPP campaign, we love to see it. Okay, foreign policy, not foreign policy, we want to go to you. And for the election, I wish I knew how many electoral votes these were even worth. Because it's like Ohio, Pennsylvania, typically, which I think we already just did. Florida is a big one. And what are the swing states? It's Ohio, Pennsylvania. I mean, let's just go to the south. Sure. Well, let's campaign here. Your supplies are pretty bad. I think I probably have kept you in combat quite a lot. You haven't gotten time to actually like reinforce properly, which I will say is my bad. Got 3 days on you, but you're losing strength, which is not great. Richard Nixon flipped through the channels, seeing what was a nightly news station were saying about him. Being discussed on all of the big three networks would usually be a desirable thing, but seeing what the cover of the Washington Post was this morning, he had a terrible sinking feeling. CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite. The leaked tapes, the president used several racial epithets to describe the investigation, which he described as life-ending. The ABC Evening News with Ron Cochran. To Abram Ribbett's comments to the press this afternoon, I know I do not speak alone for the Jewish people of America when I condemn the president's foul, prejudice, and above all demeaning choice of words in Huntley Brinkley report on NBC. Having expressed concern for the state of the president, with some going as far as to call his tone raving and unhinged. The White House press secretary was unavailable for Nixon switched off the TV, just he had feared. It felt like everyone was trying to find a bone to pick with him. And they won't rest until they had torn down everything that he accomplished during his presidency. As he stood up and walked out back to his desk, he couldn't help but wonder how much this was simply paying the price for his old sins. And how the hell did the Post even get the tapes in the first place? But I will say with that right now, with the war in South Africa honestly not going that great, and Nixon's political career completely collapsing around him, this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So if you enjoyed, thumbs up. Not enjoying, thumb down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.